So next is Chris from SmartDiet. Come on up here, we'll get you set up.
Hi, I'm Chris Muty, CEO and founder of Food Phone. I have been a calorie counter my entire life, as far back as grammar school, carrying scales, measuring cups, scales, teaspoons, and on and on. Then came the infamous point system. Everybody's aware of that. Your palm of your hand, 3 ounces. Your fist, 1 cup. And this is the best one. 1 teaspoon, the end of your finger. So as an engineer, I've always thought there had to be a better way to accurately know what you're about to eat and what the contents of the nutritional value is of the food. I used to think of devices to measure food way back when I was a young engineer with Digital Equipment Corporation, flying on many 23-hour flights back and forth to Hong Kong and Japan. I even set up in my garage all the equipment, instruments, and technology back then to analyze a plate of food. It worked great, but there was one small problem. It took up pretty much the whole garage. So we're still hoping to find a way to be able to do this. I kept working on it, and then came the smartphone, and I thought, fantastic, this is what I need. Now I have this affordable, small, handheld computing device to be able to analyze food and provide the computing power that I needed. The only problem was I was very concerned over the AI. It still hadn't been advanced enough to be able to do this very complex analysis of a plate of food. So I went ahead, and in 2010, I started to work on the development of numerous patents to analyze food with smartphones. In 2012, I filed my initial patent, one of numerous patents, to analyze food. And then an absolutely amazing thing happened. It made my day. Princeton University announced that they had advanced AI, especially the neural network AI, to the point where it was now practical and affordable to use within a consumer electronics. I thought, fantastic. Now my devices and my patents are ready to move forward quickly. So whether you're trying to count calories or managing a child with type 1 diabetes, you want to know the precise nutritional values and content of the food. And you know that guesstimating just isn't good enough. With over 100 million people currently monitoring their diets with cell phones, the apps and systems they use right now are just not adequate. They're simply inaccurate, misleading, and very difficult to use. So what is Food Phone? Food Phone uses the convergence of technology, including hardware and software, both neural network AI, multispectral cameras, and advances in miniaturization of electronics. This, in turn, turns any phone into an affordable, precise instrument to measure the precise macronutrient content of your food. By macronutrients, I mean the fats, carbohydrates, proteins, and portion size of the meal that's in front of you, even if it's a mixed meal. Built right in technology, built right into your smartphone in your case, Food Phone users take what seems like a simple picture, but in fact it's a very complex multispectral image. That is 7 different images that identify the food's shape, color, quantity, and most importantly, the invisible near-infrared food signature, that every food has a different signature. From that, the AI analyzes this information and sends it back in a consumer-friendly nutritional fact label that we're all familiar of. We have completed our proof of concept, and we are seeking investment to build our market-ready device. My team, I have an expert team that includes the go-to man in spectroscopy, Dr. John Coates. He's developed over 25 patents and has 50 years experience. My business team are the experts in marketing channels and sales and consult to the likes of Amazon, IBM, Apple, and Google. My partners in distribution plan are right now it's a team with 2 prominent diabetes clinics who want to distribute the product in the market-ready Food Phone to their several million subscribers. My revenue. Food Phone will generate revenue of $50 million over the next 5 years by the sale of technology licenses, device sales, monthly subscription fees, and B2B data access fees.
Awesome.
I saw that cat.
Thank you. Yeah, he's got you covered. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Judges, go ahead.
So pick up from your last slide. Who's paying for what? What does the consumer pay? I saw a lot of different things on that slide.
Yeah, the consumer would pay the initial cost of $150 for the actual device and technology to go into your phone, and then a subscription fee of $2.50 per month. The technology licenses are what we've negotiated with the diabetes clinics and other companies that want to be able to give this technology in the case or in a phone to their subscribers. They've been paying or agreed to pay license fees up front. The device is also being sold for the $150, and we'll be building a large database that presently isn't available to even the FDA or USDA, where hundreds of millions of meals will be entered into our database in a scientific fashion that's never been available before, and that has a significant value.
So if a facility provides it to an end user, is the end user also paying or not in that case?
Not in that case. No, the end user would pay a subscription fee per month for us to process the data and provide the same services that like Weight Watchers and other diabetes clinics do for people right now. So it's actually relatively inexpensive compared to the cost right now of visiting Boston for diabetes clinics, nutritionists, doctors, where all this information can be gathered and monitored over the telephone now.
Can you talk a little bit about the results from your proof of concept? So what was the accuracy rate? And also, I think equally importantly, when you were off, how far were you off in terms of calorie count and macronutrients?
In general, accuracy is approximately 95%. We're really not off that much with it. We have our efficacy is fantastic, to be honest with you.
And in those 5% of cases, I guess maybe can you talk a little bit about the technology? Are you trying to first identify the food and then look up the amount of calories and macronutrients based on the food, or are you directly assessing the macronutrients?
We're doing a combination of both direct assessment for the macronutrients through the near-infrared, and we're also doing inference analysis once we know the portion size to where we get the information from our database. We have a database that's under construction right now of over 5 million food images and artificial intelligence classifiers.
So if you take a picture of a sandwich, how do you know what's in the middle of the sandwich?
As long as we see a small portion of it, the AI and the classifiers can determine and make assumptions. If the bread's mounted up like that, it's going to make assumptions there's extra meat inside there. If it's flat across, it's going to assume it's level all the way across. And we also have augmented reality as a key component in our technology, that what we call auto-fills the food that might be hidden.
And one final question. The multispectral camera, so an iPhone doesn't have a multispectral camera. This is
The what, sir?
You have a multispectral camera to do your, to IR and visible. So you've built a new device with its own camera. Is that right?
Yes.
Or are you not using the camera on a phone?
No, we're using our own device that's miniaturized into either a case or through some of our partners is going to be right in the smartphones.
Okay.
But it's a combination of hardware and software.
How much more accurate is taking pictures of all your food versus keeping a food log, estimating portion size, and looking it up?
The best studies I've found, and I think I've evaluated every one of them over the past 20 years, is 50% accurate at best versus our 95% accuracy. But the thing, too, that we have to remember is that when you're using our device, it's very simple. It's one image, 1 second, the information's produced. There's no trying to measure food, figure out what the food is, guesstimate, put the information in manually for like programs like Lose It, Weight Watchers, and the other ones that are out there.
Do you have a picture of the prototype hardware device?
I don't have it on my slides, but I have a demonstration video and the device.
And what's the size of the prototype device?
Size of the prototype right now is it's relatively large. The components are very small. We have computers in there, measurement systems, and it's 10 by 3 by 5.5.
And the intent would be that this is something that gets attached to a phone, embedded within a phone.
It's going to be embedded in.
So I'm going to have to cut you guys off here. I'm sorry. To keep it fair and square, thank you, Chris, so much. Well done.